Imagine this. You are a teenager, full of hope, full of dreams, living in a world that doesn't always make sense. Your family loves you, but not in the same way your siblings love each other. And the people closest to you, people who should support and protect you, sometimes turn on you. That was Joseph's life. Joseph was 17, the youngest of 12 sons of Jacob, and he was the favorite. Jacob loved Joseph more than the others, and he showed it by giving him a coat of many colors. A coat so beautiful, so vibrant, that it made the other brothers' envy burn. But it wasn't just the coat. Joseph had dreams, strange, powerful dreams that seemed to hint at destiny far beyond the life he knew. In one dream, he saw sheaves of wheat, and somehow his sheaf rose above his brother's sheaves, which bowed to his. In another, even the sun, moon, and 11 stars seemed to bow down to him. When Joseph told his family, they were enraged, and his father, Jacob, puzzled quietly at the thought, trying to understand. Can you imagine being Joseph, 17, full of hope, excited about the future, and yet seeing your family's jealousy grow with every word? One day, Joseph was sent by Jacob to check on his brothers, who were tending their flocks in the fields. Joseph approached, full of youthful energy, eager to share the news, maybe even a word of kindness. But his brothers saw him coming and plotted against him. They grabbed him, tore off his coat, and threw him into a deep pit. Imagine the darkness, the cold stone, the weight of the fear, the hopelessness. Joseph must have wondered if he would ever see the sun again, if he would ever feel safe, if God had abandoned him. Then, in a cruel twist, his brothers sold him to a caravan of Ishmaelite merchants traveling to Egypt. They dipped his coat in goat's blood and presented it to their father Jacob, making him think a wild animal had killed Joseph. Grief struck Jacob's heart like a thunderbolt. Joseph's journey to Egypt was just the beginning of trials that would test him more than any teenager should endure. Once in Egypt, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, an important official of Pharaoh. At first he was a slave in a foreign land, with strange customs, strange language, and people he didn't know or care about him. Yet Joseph had something stronger than fear. Faith. He worked diligently, trusted God, and gained Potiphar's confidence. He was put in charge of the household, responsible for everything because Potiphar saw his integrity. But life was never a straight path. Potiphar's wife noticed Joseph. She tried to seduce him, tempting him to betray his values, to take the easy way instead of the right way. Joseph refused. He stood firm, but in refusing he faced injustice. She lied, and Joseph was thrown into prison. Again, darkness surrounded him. Again, he was in a place of suffering, this time for choosing to do what was right. In prison, Joseph could have given up. He could have grown bitter, angry, resentful, but he didn't. He found purpose even there. He helped the prison officers, gained their trust, and even interpreted dreams for those around him. And one day, that gift of dream interpretation would change everything. Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt, had disturbing dreams. No one could interpret them, but the cupbearer Joseph had helped remembered him. Joseph was brought from the prison to the palace. There, in front of the most powerful man in the world, Joseph faced a choice: fear or faith. He interpreted Pharaoh's dreams, 7 years of plenty followed by 7 years of famine, and he didn't stop at interpretation. He devised a plan, a way to save Egypt from disaster. Pharaoh was amazed. He saw Joseph's wisdom, his integrity, and his courage. Pharaoh placed him over all of Egypt, second only to himself. From slave to ruler, from prisoner to leader, the change was unimaginable. Years passed, and the famine Joseph had predicted came. People from surrounding lands, including his own family in Canaan, traveled to Egypt to buy grain. His brothers, desperate and humbled, came before him. They did not recognize Joseph, the brother they had betrayed, the one they had sold into slavery. Joseph could have had revenge. He could have struck them down, demanded justice, but he didn't. He saw God's hand in all of it. He forgave, and he revealed himself, telling them the profound truth. You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. Think about that. Joseph's life shows trials that can be transformed into blessings, Betrayal can lead to growth, pain can lead to purpose, darkness can become light. Joseph's story is not just history. It's a lesson in resilience, in courage, in faith. It teaches that even when life feels unfair or when others betray or disappoint us, God's plan is still at work. Joseph never lost faith, never gave up hope, never let bitterness control him, and in the end, his life became a testament to God's power to turn trials into triumphs. So when you face your own challenges, whether it's dealing with friends, school pressures, family struggles, or personal doubts, remember Joseph. Stand firm in your values. Trust God even when the path is hard. Serve others when it feels like no one is watching. And forgive even when it seems impossible. Joseph's story is epic, yes, but it's also deeply personal. It's a story about you, about faith, about hope, and about the courage to rise when the world tries to push you down.